Okay, now we are going to continue our interview. First of all, before we start the questions, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Trevor Sevanalta, and I'm studying at University Utara Malaysia, and it's my second year, first semester, and I taking International Affairs Management as my major, and I from Indonesia, uh, especially in Batam Island.
All right, thank you very much. Now, moving on to the question. For the first question, it is about your personal view on English language. First of all, how do you personally feel about the growing use and influence of English in your country?
Okay, so the question is about my personal view about the growing use and influence English in my country, right? Okay, personally, I feel that the growing use of English in Indonesia is quite positive, because it helps us, like me as a student abroad, to more easily to talk with or start conversation with a global community, not just in education but also in business or technology. But however, I also believe that as Indonesian, we need to still maintain our Indonesian language as our national identity, so it does not get overshadowed.
All right, thank you. For the second question, do you think the influence of English is positive or negative for the younger generation in your country, and why?
Um, in my opinion, actually, it depends on the situation, but I do believe the influence of English for the younger generation it's mostly positive because it's give them access to global knowledge, better communication skill, and wider career opportunities. But however, there is also a risk that they might value Indonesian language less if they focus too much on English.
Wonderful. Now, to continue the interview, I will pass the mic to another person. Thank you.
Okay, okay, moving on to the next questions. Can you explain how English was introduced in your country and how its use has changed over the years?
Okay, in my knowledge, English was introduced in Indonesia during the Dutch colonial era, but it was only used by certain group of people. And after independence in 1945, English became a foreign language taught in school, so everyone can access it. But over the years, its use has grown significantly in education, business, and tourism, and even on social media. And nowadays, many children start learning English at their very young age.
Okay, for the fourth questions, can you tell me in which situations or settings, such as education, the workplace, media, tourism, entertainment, and etc., English is commonly used in your country today?
Okay, nowadays, English in Indonesia is commonly used in many sectors. For example, in education, it's have in international school and universities are often use English as the medium of instruction. And for the workplace, particularly in multinational companies and in industry like banking or IT, English is often be the main language for meeting, reports, and email. And for the tourism industry, also relies heavily on English because it is the main way to communicate with foreign tourists. And for the media, English is dominates in music, movies, and online content. Content, sorry. For example, many young Indonesians prefer watching Netflix show or YouTube videos in English. And lastly, for the entertainment, English terms are often used to sound more modern and appealing. And overall, English has become a part of everyday life in urban Indonesia.
Okay, that's all from me. I will pass it to the next interviewer.
Thank you to my friends. And now I will continue for the next question. The next question is English used is English used mainly to communicate with foreigner, or is it also used between local people in your country?
Okay. At first, maybe English was mostly used to communicate with foreigners, but nowadays, many young Indonesian also use English among themselves, especially on social media or daily conversation, because it sounds more modern and global. Because we have like Jakarta Selatan slang, it's like combined between Indonesia and English language.
Okay, and now for the next question. Have you noticed any difference in the way English is pronounced in your country compared to native English speaking countries? And can you give example?
Okay. Yes, there are difference for people that maybe have a lack education for their English. For example, like maybe Indonesian, several Indonesian often pronounce school as school, because they read the school letter with how they read in Indonesia letter, like school sch, the h1 it's ch1, it's uh many Indonesian people don't mention it, so they just mention school or school, like that. And the other example, it's like vegetable, be a vegetable, like that. And we also tend to add extra vowels and the end of word, like saying stop as a stoppy, like, yeah, like that.
Okay, thank you. And now for the next question, I will pass it to my friends.
Right. Moving on to the next question. Are there common pronunciation features among English speakers in your country? For example, dropping final consonants, stressing certain syllables, or local accent influence? And maybe can you give us some examples?
Okay. Yes, there are some common features. Like many Indonesian don't clearly pronounce final consonant, so hat might be hat or that or like anything. And also the influence of local accent. It's noticeable. For instance, Japanese speaker may pronounce th as just t, because in Japanese language they never use h. So, for example, like thing become tin, yeah, like that.
I see. All right. Moving on to the next question. In your opinion, do people in your country speak English with a unique accent or rhythm? And how would you describe it?
In my opinion, maybe yes, because Indonesian usually speak English with a unique accent. The pronunciation tends to sound flat and slower compared to the native speaker. This is happen because Indonesian language has a more monotone and steady rhythm, which influence how we speak English. That's it.
So I think that's all from us. So we would like to express our deep appreciation to you for joining this interview and for sharing your thoughts about the development of the English language in your country, which is Indonesia. Your ideas and experiences really help us understand the situation better. We truly appreciate your time and your kindness. We may you always find success, happiness, and many good opportunities ahead. Thank you once again for helping us.
You're welcome.
Uh, okay, thank
So
you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Revo.
it's okay.
Yeah,
You'll
thank you.
come.
Thank you.
Okay, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So we're going to start now. Thank you for
Okay.
lending us. Thank you for lending us a little bit of your time. We are
Mm-hmm.
a diploma in English communication student from College Professional Marasri Iskandar, Malaysia. We are here to interview you about the use of English in your country. First of all, before we start the question, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Namfa. I am a student studying at Mahidol University.
All right, thank you very much. And now moving on to the first question. It is a question about your personal view. How do you personally feel about the growing use and influence of English in your country?
I feel that English is becoming more and more important in Thailand for sure, especially for younger generations. For example, many students in Bangkok, including myself, attended international schools or bilingual programs. Even in Thai schools, English is now introduced from a very young age. I think it's a great thing because honestly, it gives Thai people access to global opportunities like studying abroad, working in international companies, or even just understanding global news and entertainment. However, sometimes I feel there is pressure to sound native or speak perfectly, which can make people feel insecure for sure. I think we should embrace Thai English as its own variety too.
Right, thank you. Moving on to the second question. Do you think the influence of English is positive or negative for the younger generation in your country, and why?
Definitely mostly positive. Young Thais today are more exposed to global content and can communicate with people from other countries like I am right now. For example, many Thai teenagers are active on platforms like YouTube or TikTok where English helps them connect with international audiences. It also helps with higher education for sure. Me and my classmates who are good at English are currently applying for scholarships abroad, and some are joining exchange programs. So I think it's positive.
All right, thank you for your time. I am now going to pass the mic to another interview.
So for the third question, can you explain how English was introduced in your country and how its use has changed over the years?
English became important in Thailand even though we were never colonized. It was introduced during, I think, the 19th century, especially in the time of King Rama the fourth and fifth for diplomacy and trade. And today, English is part of school curriculums, and there are many international schools, especially in big cities like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket. There are also a lot of English language signs, menus, and advertisements in tourist areas.
So for the next question, can you tell me in which situations or settings, such as in education, the workplace, media, tourism, entertainment, or etc., English is commonly used in your country today?
So, in education, English is a core subject from kindergarten to university, and some universities like Chulalongkorn or Mahidol offer international programs fully in English. In workplaces, in big companies, especially multinationals like Unilever or Thai Airways, employees need to use English for reports, emails, and meetings, or just in their work in general. What else is there? Media. Thai people consume a lot of English content for sure, like on Netflix, YouTube, or watching international news. Even Thai dramas sometimes include English phrases. And I think the most important one of all is tourism. Places like Phuket, Pattaya, and Bangkok uses English daily on signs, menus, and also staffs. I think they all use English.
All right, thank you for your answers. Next, I will pass it to the next interviewer.
Okay, thank you to my colleague. Now I will continue with the fifth question. Is English used mainly to communicate with foreigner, or is it also used between local people in your country?
Traditionally, English was mainly used for communicating with tourists or foreigners, but nowadays, especially in urban areas or among educated Thais, English is also used between locals. For example, in international schools like me, Thai students often speak English to each other during class or group work. Still, in everyday life outside of these areas, most people do still use Thai.
Okay, thank you. And now for the sixth question. Have you noticed any difference in the way English is pronounced in your country compared to native English speaking countries? And can you give examples?
Definitely. I think Thai people often pronounce English based on Thai phonetics. For example, three maybe pronounced like tree because Thai doesn't really use the TH sound, or very might sound like very because the V sound also isn't used in Thai. Or uh, consonant clusters like the word student with STU could be pronounced like student instead. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And now for the next question, I will pass it to my friends.
Hi. Moving on to the next question. Are there common pronunciation features among English speakers in your country? For example, dropping final consonants, stressing certain syllables, or local accent influence?
Yeah, there are several features that are very common, like you mentioned, dropping final consonants. For example, the word help can sound like help, or stop can become like stop. And I think Thai people have a tendency to make all syllables equal in length. This comes from Thai being a syllable timed language. And I think stress is often placed incorrectly. For example, the word strawberry could sound like strawberry instead. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I see. All right. Moving on to the next question, our last question. In your opinion, do people in your country speak English with a unique accent or rhythm? And how would you describe it?
Thai English definitely has a unique rhythm and accent. I think it sounds sometimes could sound softer and careful and polite as Thai people we tend to in Thai we tend to sound that way more. However, I think with my friends like international students, as I mentioned, students in urban areas, they can speak English with a pretty native level rhythm.
I see. So, last but not least,
Um, I'm sorry for interrupting. Uh, can you speak out a sentence an example of, let's say, a conversation that you often have with your friends.
A sentence that I would normally use in a conversation with my friends. Um,
Just speak out anything. It's fine.
hey, how are you doing today? What'd you do today? What did you eat? Something like that.
If you were to speak it in more, let's say, in an accent that is more natural in Thailand, how
In
would that
Thai.
sound?
Hey, what you doing today? Today, what did you eat? Something like that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We would like to express our deep appreciation for you joining this interview and for sharing your thought about the development of the English language in your country, which is Thailand. Your ideas and experiences really help us understand the situation better. We really appreciate your time and kindness, and may you always find success, happiness, and many good opportunities ahead. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณนะครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Assalamualaikum. Today we are going to do a presentation about the influence of English language in other countries. We have wholeheartedly chosen an expanded circle from the Quartus circle. The country that we have chosen is Thailand and Indonesia. Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce my teammates. First of all, my name is MUKHLIS SAHIRI, and these are my friends, SITI FARHANAH, NAZMI, and FAKHRUL Aslam. Moving on to the interviewee biodata of our interviewee. We have for the Indonesian interviewee, we have chosen a student from University Utara Malaysia. He is an Indonesian born student from Batam Island. His name is Revo Restavio Analta, a 20-year-old student who is taking International Affairs Management. As for the Thailand interviewee, we have chosen Nathanan Chayapruk, a girl from Mahidol University, and she is studying a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations. She lives in Bangkok. Moving on to the first question, we asked them, the interviewee, about how they view the growing use of of English language in their country. Panatanan to believe that English is important is an important element in her daily life because from her experience as attending an international school, she thinks that learning English is a big advantage that people should have because it gives them a big opportunity. But she also stressed that learning English can give pressure because they are expected to sound native like the native speaker of English. As for Revo, he also thinks that learning English is positive because it helps people to communicate with global communities. As we all know, English is the lingua franca of nowadays time. But Revo also have a concern, which is he is worried that learning English would overshadow the Indonesian language. As for the second question, we asked the interviewee about the influence of English for the younger generation, whether it is negative or positive. Nathanan and both Revo and Nathanan believe that the influence of English is positive for the younger generation because they can get to learn what is about a language that is foreign to them, and it also helps them to build a widened communication skill and help them to connect with international people. and also because English used mainly mainly in higher education, it helps them to break through their studies barrier. But Revo has his own concern. It is the same as the first one because he is worried that Indonesian will forget their own language as they use English more. All in all, I believe that both speakers agree that English bring about positive, mostly positive impact on society because of the growing influence and the good opportunity it brings. But there are some risks that need to be taken because of the pros and cons of these things. That's all from me. I'm going to pass the mic to another speaker.
Okay, Sahiri. Now I'll be presenting um, answers from the interviewees regarding how English was introduced and how it is used today in both Thailand and Indonesia. So, from Natanan's side, in Thailand, English was introduced in the 19th century during the time of King Rama IV and King Rama V. It came through trade and diplomacy, not by colonization. The Thai government later made English part of the education system, showing its importance in connecting with the international world. Over the years, its use grew, especially in schools and tourist areas. While for Reno, he mentioned that in Indonesia, English arrived during the Dutch colonial period, but it wasn't widely used at that time. After Indonesia became independent in 1945, English started being taught seriously in schools and recognized as a foreign language. Its usage has since expanded beyond classrooms to media, tourism, and workplaces. So, for question 4, we asked them about situation or settings English is commonly used in their country. So, from Natanan, she shared that in Thailand, English is a core subject in schools from kindergarten to university, and it's also used in workplaces, especially for writing reports, attending meetings, and professional communication. In entertainment, many Thai people enjoy English content on platforms like YouTube and Netflix, which helps them learn and use the language more informally. Meanwhile, Revo explained that in Indonesia, English is used in international school and universities as a main medium of instruction, especially in subjects like science and IT. In the workplace, English is commonly used for communication, particularly in companies with international clients. He also highlighted that English content dominates social media for young people in Indonesia and in the tourism sector. English is the main language used to interact uh, with foreign visitors. So overall, in both countries, English has become more than just a school subject. It is now plays a role in everyday life, especially for students and professionals, and is key for connecting with the global community. That's all from me. I will pass it to the next person.
Thank you for Farhana. Now I will continue with the question number 5. So we asked if English used mainly to communicate with foreigner or is it also used between local people in their country. So Nathanan said that traditionally English is used to talk with foreigners, but in nowadays in urban area, English is widely used among locals. While Revo said it is used to communicate with foreigner, but it is now widely used by younger generation in their daily conversation. Due to this, it has birthed a slang that combines English and Indonesian language. So what can we say is English was firstly used mostly to talk with foreigner, especially in tourism and businesses. But now English is used between local people, especially the younger generation. In Indonesia, many young people in cities use a mix of English and Bahasa in daily conversation, like I'm so capek today, which means I'm so tired today. This mix is common in Jakarta, and it is known as Jaksel English, which is Jakarta Selatan English. While in Thailand, English is used by students and workers in international school or big cities like Bangkok and Chiang Mai. However, in the rural area, people still use Thai more. So English is not just used for foreign anymore, but it has becoming part of daily local conversation too, especially in cities. Now for the next question. Now for the next question, question number 6, 7, and 8. We asked about English pronunciation and rhythm while talking in their Natanan. So, Nathan, so Natanan said that uh, so not in Thailand, pronunciation is affected by the Thai language. Some sound in English, like th word in tree, are hard for Thai people to say. So instead of saying tree, it becomes tree. The word tree pokok. And the word very might sound like valley or query. So, and Thai English also sounds softer and more polite because of the tone and the rhythm of the Thai language. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, uh, for example, school become school and stop becomes stoppy. In Indonesian English, it often sounds flat or monotone because bahasa has a steady rhythm. So these differences make Indonesian and Thai English sound unique. Now for the next part, I will pass it to my colleague.
All right, thank you, Irwan. So, what can we conclude from all the 8 questions that we have asked to the both interviewees from Indonesia and Thailand is, in Indonesia, the use of English language is more casual and blended into daily conversation. Many young people in big cities speak a mix of English and Bahasa Indonesia, especially on media social. For example, nowadays, uh, TikTok platform very popular among younger generation. Also, in areas like Jakarta Selatan, young people often use a style called Jaksel English, which is Jakarta Selatan English. Meanwhile, in Thailand, English is also widely used, but in a more formal way. People in Thailand often use it in schools, universities, international companies, and tourist areas. But they usually do not mix it with Thai in normal conversation, unlike Indonesian. This is because it is treated as a separate language where it is used only in specific situation. While some Thai people speak English well, especially in urban areas, most people still use Thai in daily life. Uh, so, um, also, to conclude, in expanding several countries like Thailand and Indonesia, English is usually used as a foreign language, where it is taught in school and used in sectors like education, business, tourism. Both countries recognize the importance of English for career development and global access. They use it differently. In Indonesia, English is not only present in formal setting, but is also widely used in daily conversation, like I have mentioned above, uh, like I have mentioned before. On the other hand, in Thailand, English tend to stay within a formal or academic setting and is less commonly blended into everyday conversations, unlike Indonesian. These differences show how each country has adapted English in ways that reflect their culture, education system, and social trends. Despite the rising influence of English, both countries still rely heavily on their native language in most aspects of daily life, showing a balance between global communication and local identity. So I think that's all from four of us now. Thank you.